here? I'm here to celebrate something. But like it's a little bit early to actually celebrating the thing that we're all going to be celebrating this weekend. So I thought tonight, instead of having a Lagwagon Day party, because it's not May 16th, I'm glad that it falls on a Saturday. I love when Lagwagon Day falls on a Saturday because that means I can just get totally ripped on a Saturday and I don't got to go to work till Monday. So I can sit there and recover. So I'm all about Lagwagon Days happening on Saturdays. But I think today is more like a pre-Lagwagon Day. On Saturday night is go all in on Lagwagon Day. I mean, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be parties. There's going to be fist fights. It's going to be out of control. I look forward to having a good Lagwagon Day. I don't need to watch Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano in the Battle of the Soccer Moms. Hell no. But today is a pre-Lagwagon Day party. But I got to think about it more and more. And the reason why it's Lagwagon Day is because it's May 16th. Now, May 16th is a very, very well-known song by the band. But what people probably consider less is it's buried deep on that album. On the album right there. You see, let's make the Fillings face a little bit bigger. Song May 16th comes deep, deep into that album. It's not one of those hits off the top or the second song banger. No, it's opposite from that. It's a deep, deep cut. And I started to think about it, and I started to think about Lagwagon as a whole. They have some albums that I really like the first half. They have some albums that I really dig the second half. And they have a few albums where I just dig the whole thing. And there's a few albums where, best left unsaid how you feel about it. But for the most part, I think it's a band that has produced pretty consistent quality over the years, despite a couple of lineup changes, voice change, some tragedy in between, some breaks in between, some other side projects. I think they have a fairly consistent catalog. And I think they're a good album band. Despite those top level songs that a lot of people can recognize, a lot of their more recognizable songs are on their second half of their albums, on their B-sides. It's not just May 16th. It's a few other songs. So what I decided to do for tonight's stream is I decided what we're going to do is we're going to take a little tour and we're going to listen to about 2 to 3 and in one case 4 songs chronologically-ish off of every B-side that Lagwagon has. And we're just going to go through a couple of these songs, absorb the songs, maybe talk about the lyrics, think about the lyrics, and we'll do this in chronological-ish order to just enjoy the band, to celebrate and acknowledge Lagwagon on the day that they deserve all the celebration and acknowledgement. And of course, if you're going to start from the beginning, you're going to go all the way back to the early 90s, and you're going to go back to Duh, which probably sounded like a much cooler album cover, name of an album in the early 90s. And I actually have a version of it right here. Now, these are from those later era Lagwagon pressings. I think it was 2011. Now, in terms of the songs I'm choosing off of these albums, like I said, it's kind of all over the place. And obviously, it is super, super subjective. And in many cases, it's the first album on the B-side that's one of the stronger ones. But that's not the case here. Now, I think the song Beer Goggles is fine. And I think Parents' Guide to Living is absolutely fine. But the song I'm going to go for our first Lagwagon B-side is an amazing song that I think actually very, very appropriately pays homage to one of my favorite bands and one of Joey Cape's favorite bands, The Descendants. This song is called Mr. Coffee.
Morning is broken, my coffee is broken. That's familiar wake-up call sing through my ears. I wake with a shrug, full with a thought. Where in this hellhole is my coffee mug? I can now face the day. On legal speed, the American way. The American way. I'm sketching, I'm seizing, I'm spouting, I'm shaking. I cannot stop spilling on my brand new shirt. Wired, I'm so inspired. I take the entire poncho afterward. Here I come to save the day. On legal speed, the American way. The American way.
Great tempo change. You think the song is done there, but just wait. Thrash metal.
Drinking coffee, I drink coffee, drinking coffee every day. Drinking coffee, I drink coffee, drinking coffee every day. Drinking coffee, I drink coffee, drinking coffee every day. Drinking coffee, I drink coffee, drinking coffee every day. Drinking coffee, I drink coffee, drinking coffee every day.
What's up, Illuminati? I absolutely agree. Coffee Mug by the Descendants always does remind me as well of this classic Lagwagon gem. Absolutely. It makes me think of the 90s. Because like right now, like coffee is so built into our culture. And I'm a coffee guy, like a black coffee guy. It's like, you know, but that's not the only way to be. Like I buy this big old can over there of grounds. And every morning I'm just like putting it down my gullet. Like, all right, let's make America's kids smarter. Let's do this. That's what I do every morning. But like I think in the 90s, maybe because they were coming out of the 80s and cocaine. So that's how they got themselves going. I don't know what it was. But like in the 90s, they discovered coffee and it feels like they thought this was the coolest thing. Like no one could have like envisioned the world of energy drinks and the legality of it. But there's something very connected I've always felt, and it may be the Descendants definitely put it on blast, but I do feel coffee, caffeine, punk, high energy, heart rates going above where they should be. That really is what punk rock can be all about. What is what's the straight edge take on drinking coffee? Seriously. I know there's some straight edges who probably like totally all out on caffeine. But what if you're like a real strict straight edge, but you just the caffeine addiction has you? Is there any room for variation in there? I don't know. I don't think so. You know what I should do? I should play the next Lagwagon song, which is called Stop Whining. Something else I should do.
Where you belong, provoke oppression and right wrong. But do you vote or do you only complain? Do you just carry on your thing? So economy crushes, your country goes to war. The government stick their asses 2 times the more. But you may never know what you refuse to learn. Do you work the system or do you get burned? So few rewards and empty memories. You are the intellect, don't be obsolete. An easy way out, you forget it all. But it's the hardest path, you chose to fall. You wouldn't speak for yourself and now you're spoken for. This is something you cannot ignore.
Metal.
Stop whining. Stop crying. I remember a time when I thought it wasn't fair. The scales of justice didn't bear. But without darkness there would never be light. Without injustice we never have a right.
Couldn't agree more, Illuminati. Lagwagon is so damn great, especially the first four albums. And I think Lagwagon is probably one of those bands that people have a bit of a split on. Like there's a time period where maybe you've jumped off or maybe you think the album quality falls off. And I think that's pretty common with all bands, but I think it's pretty sharp in the Lagwagon community. I know our friend who's often in the chat, Florida Punk Archivist, he really has it as like Blaze as the cutoff. And he uses the cutoff to be Joey's voice going into, I wouldn't say as much of a decline as he says, but a difference. And there's parts where you can feel where it's a little difficult for him to get it out, and his voice in a little bit of a deeper tone, which I think is very, very natural and normal. But I think with some of their songs in particular, it makes things a little different. Late 80s, early 90s, Cola. So that album Duh came out in 1992. I believe it was still in the 80s when they formed. But the history on them, I'm a little light on compared to a lot of other bands. So, but that is an interesting point though. If you go back to this album here, Duh, which has really some more classic Lagwagon songs on the first half of the album. Looking at it right now, Tragic Vision, Angry Days, Child Inside, their cover of Bad Moon Rising. Which, by the way, there's a lot of covers and in Lagwagon. They have it on almost every album. And I tried to skip the covers in this presentation of the second part of their albums, but I think like exploring the Lagwagon covers could probably be a stream on its own, and they are one of the best bands that there is when it comes to covering classic rock in particular. All right, so we're off to a banging start. This album right here, I gotta say, it's definitely got the feel of a first album in some ways, but it's not like Lagwagon would evolve into something so differently ever in their career. I think they would get better, and I think they would get better at songwriting, but some of their best songs are on that album. They sound almost as good as they ever would. And it might have something to do with that is one of the best versions of the lineup, that early versions, but the version with Derek, which is kind of the most romanticized version of the band, with the old bass player whose name is escaping me right now, who plays that finger style all crazy. And no disrespect to little Joe, who himself right now is an amazing bass player. Like when you go see Lagwagon live these days, I saw them in 2024 at the final NoFX show. And I can, again, listen to some of the criticisms about Joey's voice, but there's a difference between how that voice sounds when you're seeing it in a field or in an amphitheater versus how it sounds from a recording on YouTube. But also the band themselves, they are just so amazing, and they absolutely still got it. And Little Joe, man, is one of the highlights of the show. Oh, that makes sense, Cola, for sure. I would say they're very adjacent to that scene, and they would share a lot of peer bands, but they were more on the skate pop punk melodic hardcore side of things. Now, speaking of things that people love, the next album that we're gonna get into, Trashed. Get out of there, you weird YouTube. Trashed is another one I would say of the beloved Lagwagon albums. Trashed is so good. It's really hard when you go through some of these to pick a couple of songs from any section of the album, and this was one of the harder ones. I'll say later what the two hardest ones were, because I think this one wasn't quite as difficult as those ones. But this album is an amazing album with an amazing sound. What's a little weird about Lagwagon, I wouldn't say this is weird, it's probably pretty common, but as they go on, they have more of their sound come together. And I know I said on the last album that they sounded pretty complete on the first album. They do. But one of the things that I think went away from them just a little bit was their commitment to the metal side of things. Now, no one would ever confuse Lagwagon with like a metal band, obviously, or even like a hardcore band. But on the side of melodic hardcore, hardcore melodic, whatever you want to say, they were a lot more, I think, open than the poppy bands to having a lot more of those skate punk metal riffs in their songs and have this tinge of metal to a lot of the things they do. And these first two albums, I think, are great illustrations of that. Once you get to the mid to later '90s with those albums, those become really refined pop punk albums, in my opinion, and they lose a little bit of that awesome skate punk thrashy kind of element to them. With that said, you guys saw a live version of this song as the stream opened. One of the best songs about fighting with your friends, and Lagwagon has all the great songs about fighting with your friends. This is Discords.
Lies and words.
Do 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 do.
Silent again. When spoken there was friction and conflict. Why do we rub each other wrong? Maybe we've known each other too well for too long. You and I have heard each other speak before. All these words that I said, the same words that you heard. We can only agree to disagree in this harmony. Is it too much likeness or indifference? Well, the answer's in the question, isn't it? The deepest cut of all comes from a trusted friend. But I'm sick of it all, I can't listen. I wish that all of this would end. You cut me off, I cut you down, down. Separated words. All these words that I said, the same words that you heard. We can only agree to disagree. That's all I need. Agree, agree. Listen, let's stop repeating the lesson. We've been through thick and thin. I consider you a friend. Though it's hard for me to show every time you hear this song, you'll know it's not just the business. We know much more exists. Let's end the bad notes and the discords. We'll tune our attitudes and realize a personal reward.
Amazing, amazing song. I put it there on the opener, the live version. There's a lot of video of Lagwagon live from this era that's available online, and it's a lot of good stuff to watch. Not a lot of it sounds great. There's some really good footage of them in the late 90s, in the 2000s, and even recent footage of them on the internet. But from this era in particular, it's actually hard to find. That song is amazing, and you can hear the layers of the bass, the guitar, everything that's going on. Very, very busy music going on here. And as I mentioned, Discords, a song about, well, discordance amongst friends, which I think honestly, Lagwagon probably has that lyrical lane locked up better than anyone else. There are so few bands that correctly throughout their whole career hit on relationships in the way that they do. And I think most of their relational songs you can boil down to songs about friend relationships, not always romantic relationships, although Lagwagon has plenty of great songs about some bad romance, and no, they're not Lady Gaga. The other thing they write about really well is growing up, growing old, and slackerdom. Again, that's not really like an innovative lyrical lane for a punk band to go into, but Lagwagon has been writing songs about growing up, getting old, getting complacent since the very, very, very beginning. And as I mentioned on this album, Thrash, we are in 1994, the year that punk broke again. So this had to compete with the likes of Let's Go, Punk and Drublick, Smash, Dookie, the one Pennywise album in 94 that I can't think of the name of. All of that stuff. Let's have some coffee and cigarettes while we reflect on it all.
I'm getting used to getting old, but where's my ambition? Days of omission, I feel broken down inside because my words seem to be trite, adding to the overwhelming. Always a question of truth, your truths. They question my efficiency, impact. The words you can't hear, shocking. The words I can't write. Recycled words don't justify. None of these words suffice. Searching for the sharp words to drive the message in. Put the last word down, then I begin to question the truth, your truths. They question my efficiency, impact. The words you can't hear, shocking. The words I can't write.
Song sounds like a little bit of a roller coaster at the end, for sure. And that takes us to the first two albums. And as I mentioned, Coffee and Cigarettes, one of their amazing songs about growing old, growing complacent, and just how life goes. It's such a great theme in punk rock and all music because every individual in the world of all time has to face that. LeBron just got swept in the second round. Father Time is undefeated, as they say. It's coming for us all. Even those of us who never really were prepared for it to come. Yeah, it's still here. If we move on to 1995, do I have that right? Is that when this album came out? Could be wrong. Yep, 1995. I was not wrong. November of 1995. Haas by Lagwagon, which, I don't know, for my money, Good luck picking the few best songs off that album. I think that album is almost the perfect Lagwagon album. I love that album. But I had a job to do here. I had to curate a playlist here. So I decided on a couple of songs. And I actually did a little bit of a bookend here because a lot of other songs could have made the cut here. But why should I complicate things? No, no, no. When it comes to Haas, there's few better B-sides in the entire Lagwagon collection than the song we're about to listen to. And I have to shout out the rhythm section in this song. And in general, whether it's Derek, what's the name of the original bass player, the early bass player that's very beloved? Is it Chuck? Why am I going to say it's Chuck? It is. The hell is his name? Jesse. Yeah. I was shouting him out earlier doing this whole thing. So, Jesse. Anytime you get Jesse and Derek together, obviously it was a great, great rhythm section. Thanks, Tom. But this song in particular that I'm about to play, I think is so carried by the rhythm section. When I saw them back a couple years ago, they played this one live, an absolute banger. And it doesn't feel like that much of a deep cut to me, but it's one that can get me standing up and just yelling at the wall. Without further ado, I give to you, you called it, Tom, Rifle. Too early.
I'm not the one who is pointing the finger, you hypocrite. We're not true enough to be part, but I speak of what I have learned. I have enough time to be burned. Born wrong. Descend upon us, you're only honest, but are you an artist or just a preacher to love? Who want to hate everything you told them to see, everything you told them to hear? We simply ask them to listen, express what we feel. Born right.
What is it? Oh, who know it?
Rifle, rifle, rifle me. Rifle, rifle, rifle me. Rifle, rifle, rifle me. Leaning on their sympathy. You're the one waving the flag. You're the one starting the war. We're not compromising or trying to conquer.
Okay, just to illustrate how good of an album Haas is, let's go through it. From there, you go into Weak. That could have been selected for this. You go into Black Eyes. That could have been selected for this. You could have had Bro Dependent. That could not have been selected for this. Good song. Fun song. Razor Burn is an iconic Lagwagon song. But you guys know that one, so I didn't put it on here. But that one honestly could have been on here, and I think a lot of people would have put it on here. Shaving Your Head, another iconic Lagwagon song. But we're going to close out Haas the way Haas closes out, with Ride the Snake. Now, Ride the Snake has its rockin' parts, but it's kind of a perfect outro. It's one of their longer songs at a whole 3 minutes and 9 seconds. And it's a lot of just the guitar doing its do, 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 do. But in the entire album of Haas, has really good commentary on what I think at the time had to have been Joey's social scene and how it was kind of falling apart. And there's some really good songs like Name Dropping that have a lot of good elements to that effect in there. And Ride the Snake seems to close it off. I've never been able to interpret exactly what Ride the Snake is about, but there's different little parts of the song that I've always absolutely loved. And if you haven't heard it, now hopefully you'll love it too. Wrong song.
Gone dead and blank. I don't wanna talk to a stranger I once knew. Single-minded hunt to fill the bottomless well. Can afford the labor of the feelings that you ask to tax. Talk to me, I can't hear you. Did you say the pain has gone away? Just one question, will I see you at the show tomorrow? For the snake, they could never tell. We are losing weight. Lost your love, but if they cannot feel our hell, I'm not losing faith, and they're not losing faith. We won't have to feel unless we quit, unless we quit, unless we quit. There's nothing more to hide. Talk to me. I can't hear you. Did you say the pain has gone away? Just one question, will I see you at the show tomorrow? Oh, the snake. Don't you know that he does everything? He buys the food and cleans. He knows what I need to go on. He knows what I need to go on. This is your last chance. I can feel I'm fading and I want to disappear, disappear. There's nothing left to fear. Talk to me, I can't hear you. Did you say the pain has gone away? Just one question, will I see you at the show tomorrow? Tell me then what's wrong? What's wrong?
Abrupt ending there to Ride the Snake. Love the way that song closes the album. It's not as hard rocking, I think, as Push the Pace as some of their other songs, but it's a heavy song with a lot of things just hanging there doing their thing. I absolutely love it. We go up next, and we are on a torrid pace, as if it feels like it, because if you're keeping score, 92 we had 94 we had Thrash, 95 we have Haas, and in 97, so we get a 1 year break, we get a double platinum. I've never quite been sure how to say that. Double pladania, I don't know. Double plaid. There you go. And again, another iconic Lagwagon release with song after song after song. Interesting question that Illuminati Manuscripts asks in the chat. How big was Lagwagon at their peak? I find that to be an extremely difficult question to answer. because what actually is their peak? Is it 1998? Is it the late 90s? Because that might be when they're sort of the biggest, but even their biggest isn't very big, even though they've had a very sustaining career. I would say they were maybe more influential than huge. They were in video games. They were a band that you probably knew, but unless they were your favorite band, they weren't necessarily top of mind. But everyone kind of had them in their CD collection if you were into this kind of music. I think they always just kind of stayed right there. That's not a very satisfying answer because I honestly don't have a good answer for you on that one. But instead, what I have for you is a pair of songs. Now, when you go down the B-sides on Double Platter, blah, 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 the song Smile honestly could have made this list, but it didn't. Instead, we are going to focus on the most unlucky number in rock music history, the number 27.
Hope you didn't mind when I saw you turn into nothing less than nothing new. Before you wait to sleep it off, how little is enough? What can you do before you decide to make the last mistake withdraw away from us and say goodbye to all but one that takes you, put you to rest. On 27th Street, nothing will keep you warm. Everything brings you on. Everything here fails you. Now lying at your feet, everyone nails you. Everyone worships you. Everyone here fails you. I can figure it out and it's all about you. Turn into like a witch on sinking ships. I might have jumped, but you jump first. Abandoned times and fine. There's no salvation here. I surely miss the times when we were so depressed. No, I miss you. No, I miss you. And you are missing something. Take a rip and then you find sedation, some salvation, masochistic, something point again. Nothing is left of you. Everyone speaks the truth. Everyone here fails me. Hope you didn't mind when I saw you.
I'm telling you, and this is an observation I'm just having right now, these Lagwagon albums are shorter than they appear. There's some long fade outs with nothing going on some of these songs. But a song that has a lot going on, and it's about a minute shorter than the one you just heard. Hopefully you don't do its namesake. It is called Choke.
Choke, pride. Still, I could only wait for you to decide. Tear it all apart. You break my heart. Why don't you follow through? Follow through. And the day ends. A so-called friend, a drunken man. that you were there. I know you too well when you lie. I hope you choke on them and see for me, for me. All these words are selfish and anger you, and you were always true. Am I the only one that hears you lie?
And that was Choke. I love Choke because Choke starts out like one kind of pleasant song, and then all of a sudden it just picks up and turns almost, you would say, like evil. There's this sort of ambiance, ominous feeling that fills up Choke. Now, at the start of this stream, I said this was a Lagwagon ish, chronological ish thing. I'll explain in a little bit what I mean by that. This is a chronological ish accounting of Lagwagon. So we are going to skip an album for no particular reason. Let's just go right from the Plaid all the way to 2003's Blaze. This thing right here. Now, obviously, this is the punk aughts. I am partial to punk that came of age in, or not even came of age, it's just, that popped in the early 2000s, because so did I. But I gotta say, even with those biases, I think Blaze might be their best album. Or maybe I should say it's the best second half that they have. It was really hard for me to distinguish which songs I should pull off of this. So Blaze has the most songs that we're going to listen to. If you're not a fan of Blaze, this is the section where you could probably, I don't know, do something else. Or actually keep listening, just listen really loud. Let's start it off, though, the way that the second half of this album starts off, with the song Dividers.
All the mirrors scream as they describe your dreams. All that they deride, till you have no allies. They depict a world where we are safe, without hate. An angry mob of one, author of the unstoppable will. United, we must kill. Here comes the first sun. They will inflate your god. By default, accomplice to their war. But I know where I stand. Born into the geographical, but I won't elect to let my mind fall. No dividers, no dividers, no dividers, no dividers, no dividers, no dividers, no dividers. No dividers. No dividers. No dividers.
Ugh, beautiful, absolutely amazing piece of Lagwagon there. Now, 2003, a lot of bands were more overtly political than they had been in the past. And I think Lagwagon falls into the category of a band that's always had a lot of politics laced within their music. A lot of it personal politics, some of it social commentary, and some of it direct politics. They've had all of it in their music. But in 2003, when you're talking about like the Rock Against Bush era, bands were a lot more, I think, clear in their political stances. And what's great about Blaze is it's an album that I think is almost two different albums. That's what makes this kind of exercise interesting. I would say the first half of the album is more of the traditional Lagwagon songs. You've got, and I'll just read them off over here. Where's okay? Burn, E Dagger, Dancing the Collapse, I Must Be Hateful, Falling Apart, which I love. Max Says, Billy Club. And again, there's a lot of political songs in there, especially when you think about Billy Club. But I think at the second half of this album, and it's just a ton of just angry punk rock politics, but done with the melody and the expertise and the layering of guitars and all of that, and the Ryan Green of it all, who I can always never forget to shout out. That makes no sense. You can't always never forget to do something. I need to stop talking. But you know what's never going to stop is the song Never Stops.
I'm alright. Tell me you're alright. Almost there. Barely here. I knew that this day would have to come, wailing on the wall, watching giants fall. I know there's a message to receive, written in debris. It's many time to see. The loss of innocence means nothing in that new world. All our hands are red, everyone is guilty. I'm alright. Tell me you're alright. Stop my eyes open. Another idiot glued to the box, frozen to the screen, scared to turn it off. Quiet shock gives way to righteousness. Rattle on the bars, vengeance will be ours. Fanatics on their knees break force with just revenge. Become what they condemn. Mirror image man. Hands across America, let's catch contact hysteria. Our flag erects from broken homes. July 4th forevermore. Colors of democracy fly from every SUV. The misspelled bumper stickers here. Weighing it off the honesty. Let's go. Numbers
Love
on
that.
the news. This time with familiar names. This time unfamiliar ground. This reality in your backyard. So the fences fall. Will you redefine them all? Will you choose shelter or empathy? The world we share has come too close. With borders blown from glass, we collect stones and cast them. They say the party never stops. I know we cannot get off. Another idiot comes on the box, breathing privileged air, reaching to the fair. Rallying one muscle under God, leaning on the chair, leaning on our fears. The state of ignorance means nothing to the faithful. God is with us now. They disregard the world beyond the wall.
Wouldn't it be nice if that song wasn't super, super relevant today, 23 years later? Would be nice. Frank has an interesting comment in there. He said, yeah, the way this album is mixed and the driving force in the songs themselves created some of the best energy in their whole discography. I agree. Because they have good energy, I think, throughout their discography, but sometimes the songs are put in certain kind of orders, and sometimes the momentum can be killed. If momentum is never really killed on the album, if anything, some of the songs are kind of a relief. Like um probably there's like one song on here which would be Dinner in a Movie on the second half of this album, which is more like a classic Lagwagon type song. It's a perfectly fine song, but really cannot compare to the energy of some of these songs. But you know what? We don't always need punk rock. Sometimes we need to take a little bit of a rest. Perhaps a lullaby will suffice.
Waging war on the arms race of sound. Turn it down, pull apart, imminent surrender. Ringing in a new dark age. Shut down the noise of harlots. Put down the quiet of phobics. In a daydream of peace. In a calmness to breathe. My lullaby is killing. My lullaby be stilling. It could be such sweet silence from static, from violence, from volume as a modern currency. Everyone competing for their space. Everybody's dumb, shouting mono words as though they're deaf. Big brother isn't watching anymore. He knows we are distracted and absorbed. Broadcasting our grief, our imaginations atrophied. We can't think. If I could sing them all to sleep. If I could sing myself deaf. Wouldn't it be lovely? Doesn't it sound perfect? Every generation hates the next. I will save the millions from a slow insufferable death. I'll put them to sleep, save them from progressive misery. I'm counting. If I could sing myself to sleep. If I could sing myself deaf. Wouldn't it be lovely? Doesn't it sound perfect? My lullaby is killing. My lullaby is stealing. Memorize involuntary. I think I can change the world.
Something is wrong. Nobody's driving the train. The system. There's too many people are getting sick.
Ugh, what a song. Another great comment here by Frank. He said, this track took the longest for me to get into for some reason. I like the tempo changes. I think that's why it probably took you so long to get into. It's kind of an inaccessible song in that way, but once you get into it, you're like really into it. In fact, I debated keeping it off this stream for a lot of those reasons. It's one of those masterpiece kind of songs, I think, by this band. And it's a song that if I were to find out years from now, or maybe it's somewhere on the internet, that it was part of a much longer song, almost like a decline length of song, I would actually believe it because there's a lot going on in this song, but I find it very, very engaging once you are engaged with it. You know what I need to get engaged to in order to like be able to give you strings more regularly so I don't have to worry about work? I need to be engaged to a billionaire. That would be awesome.
Breaking down in surround, alarms are deafening. Alone in immersion, drowning in a dream. Billions in the shadow of one you won't deceive. Tourist, fuck the bourgeoisie. You have to honor me. I have to honor you. Our lives are incomplete without honesty. My life is incomplete without honesty. Honesty.
Interesting, Frank. Found a demo version of this album with demos of 4 or 5 of the songs on YouTube. A lot of people in the comments said they prefer the demo versions. Pretty. I would love to hear these songs a little bit rawer too. That would be amazing. I don't know, RWR87. Anyone want to take that on? I would say that I think a lot of people's backgrounds do inform why they get into punk, but I don't think background is a necessary prerequisite of getting into punk. Punk is not about any specific background. First of all, it's a music genre. Second of all, it's probably more of a mindset than anything else. That's all I got to say on that. Speaking of all those topics, as I mentioned earlier, this album, a lot of politics. Very angry album. Unfortunately, the next album would probably be the saddest album that Lagwagon would ever write. And in fact, the next 2 albums that they would produce honestly have a pall over him because of the loss of some very close friends around the time of the writing of those albums. I mentioned earlier, Lagwagon, great at writing songs about growing up, getting old too soon. But actually, as they experience, as many of us experience, as you get on with life, you start to lose people. You start to lose family. You start to lose friends. You start to lose people you were close to that you worked with for so long. People you made music with, did projects with. As we talked about earlier, their amazing original drummer, Derek, one of the greatest drummers in punk rock history, passed away in 2005. Now, Derek had a share of problems that are pretty well documented. And if you listen to the album Resolve, released in 2005 by Lagwagon, many of those problems are outlined in the album. It is by far the saddest Lagwagon album because the subject matter is very sad. So, just a forewarning, these next two songs, a little bit of downer songs. With that said, very few bands I feel like can hit the emotional tone quite the same way that Lagwagon can and still keep the rockin' skate punk going. So these next two, they're for Derek. First up, we have the opener of the B-side, Sad Astronaut.
As you sat on the bed, moments from your end, inconceivable dread, inches from your head, I can't bear to imagine you in that horror scene, one too sad to be in my mind's eye. I am there, embracing you, so scared. Now you kill me too. You killed me too. Decidedly willing to lie for you. Absolutely willing to cry for you. Ill at ease, saying goodbye to you. A part of me will never know. I am there again, in a full software and not accomplished too. Things I couldn't do, I'm a fable, disabled. I say what's like foolish son. God, what have you done? I'm a thin blue cliche. Hopelessly, I'm a mouthful of doubtful. Decidedly willing to lie for you. Say I can, willing to cry for you. Finally, say goodbye to you. A part of you I'll never know. Looking through the spyglass in a blockshot sky, while you're caught in tide. You couldn't see the sky for your falling stars. Endless in your arms, you were still alive, even as a sad astronaut.
Yeah, Frank, I think so much of the bands that we know and love just went in really weird directions in that like 2005 through 2000 maybe 15 period for almost like 10 years and tried to find these other sounds and do these other things. And I think it did ultimately hurt a lot of these bands because they'd lost some of their core fan base chasing stuff that I think other bands maybe did a whole lot better. The songs are just depressing. And I think it's hard to always love an album when it's this depressing, especially a Lagwagon album. Like, you're not supposed to be this sad at the end of a Lagwagon album, but there's no way to not have that just sinking feeling about this album. You know, there's a lot of great songs. We're going to listen to another two songs on this playlist alone that are about people passing away. And there's great songs about people passing away. I think songs about people passing away are great because they help other people deal with those situations when they are going through it themselves. It is rare, though, that there's an entire album of such. And that's the case with Resolve. It's an entire album of grieving, which I don't blame the band for writing that. That's what you have to write when you are feeling that. You have to write your authentic feelings. But I can understand why it's not the funnest album to get into, for sure. On that note, let's end our time in Resolve with probably my favorite song from the second half of the album, Creepy.
What if I had nothing left? What if I had no one left? What would I, who would I survive? Dead man, he leaves his home hopeless. He holds his thoughts higher, higher, low. I just wanted to see you wake up one day with a real smile on your face. What you felt certainty, grand trust when you were young. Why would you? How would you let go? I just wanted to see you wake up one day with an expectation. I just wanted to see you wake up one day with a real smile on your face.
Really haunting lines there too. I really, wanted to see. All I wanted was to see you wake up one day with a smile on your face. All I wanted to see you was to wake up with an expectation. And obviously, those things didn't happen. It's just again, overall sad album. And there'll be some sad songs coming up, but the next song isn't quite as sad, although it's a little funky. When we get to the last two Lagwagon albums that came out in 2014 and 2019, respectively, I wouldn't say they're bad albums. I don't think Lagwagon has a bad album. I just think they're slightly less consistent than the earlier albums. So they have a less density of great songs. And some of the better songs, I think, are on the first parts of those albums. With that said, there's a couple of songs in the second half of Hang that I absolutely have to point to. The first one is another one of those songs about growing up, growing old, and growing complacent. Maybe one of the better ones that Lagwagon has outside of Coffee and Cigarettes. And as someone who is slowly selling out every single day with the pieces of my soul just leaving me, I can relate to what it's like to burn out in style.
Anyone can be the one that you want. You only have to see it through until you feel indifference. Take a wife, a child, a family name. File them under Johnson, Doe, Smith, or Boren. There's still condos in
Thanks,
simple
Cola.
town to settle down on a wing and a smile. You go out in style. You're going out in style. As long as you look the part above your empty heart, you're not as you appear, they're not as they appear. Appearances are made on Saturdays. Lessons come from gunfights, late nights, and courtesies. Anyone can define where you are, choking on elixirs, mixers, and caviar. But I'm not getting through to you in a song. On a wing and a smile, you go out in style. You're going out in style. As long as you look the part above your weary heart, it's not as
wasn't on this microphone for about 2 years. I was burning out in style better than anyone. Real style too. That kind of style where you lose your hair. It's great style. Thanks for all the comments tonight, Cole. I hope you're able to watch more on the replay. Really got the chat going and got the conversation going. Feel free to fill in the gap that Cola has left, but it honestly makes the show flow so much better. If I could just talk to you guys the whole time, shoot, I barely got to play music because that's what people want to hear. My voice. You know, a voice I wish I could hear again, though, would be the one of Mr. Tony Sly. If you know anything about me, you know that I will do everything I can to always keep the musical legacy of Tony Sly going. Just because I think he was a damn good songwriter. And with his passing too early, it's unfortunate that we still don't get his songs and that he doesn't get to see the legacy that some of his songs left. But not only was he a great songwriter, I think he also inspired great songwriting, particularly in others after he passed. Now, this is the dumbest competition ever, but between I'm So Sorry, Tony, and the next song, I don't know which song is the better tribute to Tony Sly. But this is a Lagwagon pre-day, so we're going to go ahead and roll with one more song. One of these other saddest Lagwagon songs that you could possibly have, but another one of their hidden gems, if you ask me.
It's been a while, but somewhere in each day I recall that crooked smile. Last few years to calculate all the ways I could have changed your fate and my role. Forever know the toll of standby. One more song, one more visit to the cell where I belong. 100 stories hanging on, 15 songs that hanging from each line. Good night. I recall the last song, and I can't handle Brooklyn anymore, but always long for one more sunrise, knowing you are safe at home. A picture life, then the vision jumps away like the touch of death. Could see my name, myself, forever know the devil in details. A wrinkled page, scribbled word, a melody gone, will never be heard. This one's writing itself. God help, what God? One song, my aeroplane, forever over the sea. Goodbye. I can't write this sad so long, and they won't share the first line anymore, but always long for one more song. Tony will always long for one more song. Always long for one more.
Rest in peace, Tony Sly. A lot of people had a lot of memories of Tony Sly, and I think they're all probably absolutely valid. But think about it from Joey's perspective. If, Linoleum, as No Effects once wrote, was the last song that Tony ever played, well, he played that song with Joey Cape. So the last person he ever made music with was Joey. When you think about the unfinishedness, the one more song, the whole idea of those lyrics, just beautiful stuff, sad stuff, tragic stuff. We will move on from the sad and tragic to a song called The Suffering from 2019's Railer. An album that I think is pretty good, but I think the strength is a little bit in the beginning. But there's a couple of songs that are okay. Not bad. Start out with the House of the Rising Sun here.
The world is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our wits to grow sharper. Those who have never known
Let's be honest, they have no other song like this.
deep intimacy and the intense companionship of mutual love have missed the best thing that life has to give. 3 passions, simple but overwhelmingly strong, have governed my life. The longing for love, the search for knowledge, and unbearable pity for the suffering of mankind.
All our lives in fast pursuit, smash and grab like thieves. We stare at
That was The Suffering off of Railer. That's what Frank had to say about Railer. When I'm listening to the album, I feel like it's a B-level album by Lagwagon standards. But when I turn it off, the songs don't really stick with me that much. Agreed. And if there are songs that stick with me, it's absolutely obsolete, or however you say it, or it's the Surviving California song. Archivist! I would say Where You Been, but I kind of took a 2-week vacation. What's up, Archivist? We're deep into Joey Cape blown out voice territory. I'm glad you weren't in the stream of that part because we would have had a whole conversation. We got one more song, and then we will head into more sustainable Joey voice levels. But speaking of energy levels picking up, look at Florida Archivist. It's like the glass breaking and Steve Austin coming in. Just, God damn, that's Archivist's music. Let's listen to a tribute to Bro Dependent.
Goodbye, my dearest foe. Here's to fledgling teen sorrow. Today forgotten, tomorrow is our promise to be broken. We should not prolong what seems right until it's wrong. One more sad so long, one more teach-on later. I am not afraid to step into this grave. It's not enough. No, it's not enough. I wanted to live long enough to regret the billy clubs and I meant the gateway drugs. See the first missteps through wisdom in a round room fit for battered clowns. We agree the circus freaks are button down. I am not afraid to step down from the stage. It's not enough. No, it's not enough. Can you see the light? The tunnel's dead and is in sight. We're almost there, we've almost made it. Everybody's transcending in the dark. Every one of us leaves his mark. Every one of us wears a self-inflicted purple heart. I am not afraid to step into this grave. It's not enough. No, it's not enough.
Hey, Archivist. I really should have considered my Turkish journey. I think so. As I was burning out in style. Okay, now let's get to what we all came for. Let's pick some second halfers off of this thing right here. Let's talk about fill-ins. Now, Frank actually made a good point. He said he would have rather have had Want on there. I'm guessing that's what he's referring to as the Jawbreaker cover over Everything Turns Gray, which I can see that. I mean, Jawbreaker and Lagwagon just go absolutely together. And thank you, Archivist. Thank you for the affirmation. The other one, or was that Frank or was that Illuminati? Oh, Feedback. He felt like should have been. Oh, the opener on that side. Yeah, he felt like that should have been the continuation. But part of the reason that inspired me to do this whole concept, I think it's really annoying, of the second half of albums, second part of albums, was exactly what I talked about at the top of the show. Let's talk about fillings has May 16th, the Lagwagon Days song, which is the second to last song on the album. Kind of atypical for one of the more iconic songs that a band has. But let's be honest. One of the greatest album closing sequences in the history of mankind is the way the final 3 tracks on Let's Talk About Feelings close out. So why don't we just get into those final 3 tracks? And it starts out with the song that's about all of you, not me, because I'm a beautiful bald-headed man, as has been mentioned in the chat. But you guys are the kids, and you guys are all wrong.
Deaf, watching cars, and focus on one till it's gone. Heroes die off every day, like fathers that would never stay. The kids are all wrong. The kids are all wrong. They're full of their hopeless opinions. The kids are all wrong. The kids are all wrong. It's all I ever really learned.
Happy Lagwagon Day. Pre.
No more waiting on them as you rise inside your rooms. It's official, you've gone. You can live for no one else, man. The guilt must be huge. There's no gain in failure. You succeed being mine, yeah. Old friend, see you there. I will be proud from afar. I can paint a picture in a moment of memories, and there are many left. I am extradited, uninvited. Just another Saturday. Take a step to freedom. You enter against this cruel world. Take a breath of shelter, then exhale trust and allegiance. Liberate yourself from hell. It's just another Saturday. Just another Saturday.
And now to close it out. And that was the best of Lagwagon's B-sides.